Oh yeah, hi pipe smokers. Yeah, this is Paul the Pipe Guy here. And yeah, I'm all sweaty and all this stuff. My hair looks greasy and all that stuff because it was hot as fuck earlier today. And yeah, so I was out doing chores around the yard and whatever. So Searchlight Piper actually sent me, no, not a cigarette. He actually sent me uh, I got this package from Searchlight Piper Paul Geraci, and it had 4 tins of tobacco in it, which I just found they're dried up. I have to rehydrate them, and a little cash. And I was looking for this. He contacted me finally, found this little note, and I guess well, both his pipes are going to get deghosted. He sent me a Peterson. And that one right there, I've got the stem out because it's no longer yellow anymore. Now it just has to get polished. I'm going to send that back to you, buddy. Like smoking brand new. This pipe is going to look brand new when I'm done with it. I've already reamed her out. It didn't take much. Then he sent me this other pipe that it's a red pipe. I don't even know what it's a Mylon, which I've never heard of, Mylon. But it's a cool pipe, and he says this red dye keeps getting all over his hands when he smokes it. And, you know, certain pipe makers and certain people that take it upon themselves that have no clue what they're doing, they go to restore these pipes, they sand them down, they restain them, and they use a water-based stain. And I only use leather stain, an alcohol-based leather stain. So I suspect that's why he's getting this all over his hands. And he's like, just do whatever you feel you need to do the pipe. Let the briar talk to you. And that's what we're going to do. I suspect that a lot of the reason why, I don't know if this is water-based or not, the stain, but it really doesn't have a coat of carnauba wax on it. Look how dull that is. So I don't know what I'm going to do with her yet. I have some ideas, but I'm going to do his Peterson here, bowl number 106 first, and we're going to deghost that. That pipe will go back looking like brand new. This pipe here, I'm going to let the briar speak to me. So he sent me some cool stuff. Sent me 4 tins of like half tins of tobacco, and I didn't realize it. I thought they were like full tins, and I was like, "Hey man, you didn't have to send me like 4 tins of tobacco for 2 pipes." And then I finally found his on little freaking note here. He's like, yeah, these are some tins that I wanted to send you. They need to be rehydrated, which is cool. That's okay, man. I'll rehydrate these 4 tins. He also sent me a really cool ass book, and it's 175 years of the Sutliff Company. Yeah, and I love Sutliff blends, so we'll see. I'm going to read this. This ought to be good, you know. So thank you very much. We're going to go out to the workshop now. Let's see what we can do. I've already taken all the yellow off of this. I'm not going to tell you how. But let's look at this pipe right now. Look at that pipe. I should have showed it before I took all the yellow oxidation off. But look at it, and I'm going to hold it right here. And we'll bring it right back in a nanosecond. Oh yeah. So now basically, Searchlight Piper's Peterson looks like a brand new pipe from the outside. There was a couple little dings and so forth that I just took the liberty of taking out of that stem. It's like a brand new stem. No dings, no marks, no nothing. He probably didn't even notice it. You don't notice it until you start polishing it, and then it's like, all right. So that's like a brand new pipe. Now we have to take care of the internals. We're gonna deghost this pipe, and then tomorrow about this time we'll see what we have. So I'm gonna pause the video. I'm gonna put this pipe in for the deghosting process, which you get rid of all the bad taste in the briar, the sour, bitter taste, because the pipe's been smoked and it's aged and just gets a bad taste. We'll be right back. Okay, so what we've done is we've taken a pipe cleaner, we've bent it in half, put the correct amount of cellophane around it, saran wrap, whatever, plugged up this back end. This is how we do the salt treatment. And then what we do is we take and only use this Morton kosher salt. Coarse Morton kosher salt. If you use regular table salt, you're trying to deghost it, get that bad taste out of it, you're gonna blow your pipe up. So only use that. And I only use Everclear. And I have one of these little syringes here. So we have it filled with Morton kosher salt. I did a couple of squirts to get the Everclear down into the shank of the pipe, because you get a lot of tar buildup in there. And yeah, after I've deghosted a pipe, you'd be surprised. You know, I'll take this little pipe tool, stick it up in there, and kind of just scrape around the edges gently, and some of the gook that comes out of there. So I'm basically going to take this, you could use an eyedropper too, and I slowly put it in so it's going down into the salt. Just like so. And now she's full. But we're going to let that sit for a half hour, and then we're going to top her back off again, because that briar is going to soak up that Everclear, which is a very, very high alcohol content. It's 95% pure grain alcohol, but it's like food. Don't use isopropyl alcohol or any of that stuff. Don't use Jack Daniels. Use Everclear. If you want to do it right, just use Everclear. It's already soaking up some of that. And then an empty egg carton works good, where you can set the pipe in there. It's just going to stand up straight, and you let it sit for a full 24 hours. Now, I learned in the past, don't let it sit there for 2-3 days. The briar is going to absorb so much of that Everclear alcohol, it's going to expand the briar. You're not going to be able to get the stem back in. I let one sit for 3 days one time, and it's like I go to put the stem back in, and it wouldn't fit. And yeah, that was just today. So I have to figure out, do I got to let it just sit for a week? Or do I have to sand the stumble down so it refits the pipe? I don't know. So anyways, we're going to set this up, yeah, and let her do her job. So that is what it is, Searchlight Piper, yeah. That's your Peterson. It's brand new on the outside. I polished the Petersons have two types of bands usually. You've got a nickel band. This is made out of nickel. Or you have a sterling silver band. This particular one's made out of nickel. So that's all polished up. It's like brand new. And that's, I think they call it like a fish scale finish on it. Yeah, so she's all polished up. Let's put her back. Okay, so the thing that you want to do, if you're going to deghost a pipe, spend the money and get the right materials. Like I said, I use Everclear. You can buy that at any liquor store. It's 190 proof. food grade pure grain alcohol. Use the correct salt, the Morton coarse kosher salt. All right. And the other thing that you have to be really careful of when you're messing around with this pipe and you're putting this in there, I like that little needle shot thing that I got, the little injector that you saw earlier. I like that because I have full control over it, but you got to make sure you don't fill the pipe up so far where it's overflowing, because it will take your finish off, it'll take your stain off, it will take everything off your pipe. You don't want to do that. And if you do, if that does happen to happen, then just run to the sink, kind of empty it out a little bit and dry it off with a cloth. And you'll be able to save it if you get to it right away. If you just like, oh yeah, a little bit spilled over the edge, then you're going to be fucked. So the next pipe that Searchlight Piper sent me is this one, and he said, I don't remember if this one, it's going to get deghosted in either event. Both his pipes will get deghosted. They'll just taste so much better like a brand new pipe. He said that when he smokes this red stain rubs off on his hand. And my guess is that somebody made this pipe and probably used a water-based stain. I use Fiberg's let me show you what I use for my stain. All right, so this is the stain that I use. This happens to be a mahogany color. It's made by Fibings, and it's leather dye, but it's an alcohol-based leather dye. And you may say, well, why would you want to use that on a pipe? Well, the leather dyes that are alcohol-based just permeate the briar so well. They don't rub off, all right? They take a polish really good. If you're going to stain a pipe, use that. Fibing. You can get it off of Amazon, Fibings. It comes in a million different colors. But make sure, the first pipe I ever fully restored, I dyed it and then I let it sit for 3 hours. Felt dry to me, but it wasn't bone dry. It felt bone dry, but it wasn't. And then I went to put some carnauba wax on it, and it just wasn't taking a polish. I had to strip all that carnauba wax off. After you stain a pipe, you're gonna want to let it sit for at least 24 hours, if not 48 hours. So, Searchlight Piper says, let the briar be your guide. I just can't stand this stuff rubbing off on my hands no more. And I asked him, and a lot of people, they don't wash their hands anymore with soap and water. A lot of people use the hand sanitizer. And the hand sanitizer gets into your pores. Then you go to handle your pipe thinking your hands are clean. Well, that's got alcohol in it, plus other cleaners, and it'll actually take the finish off your pipe too. So if you're going to smoke your pipe, wash your hands with soap and water, not hand sanitizer, because it will mess up your pipe. Yeah. So let's see what the briar is telling me on this, and let's see where we go. I have a couple of ideas. It's speaking to me. Oh my God, I hear the ocean. Yeah, okay, so Searchlight Piper was complaining that pipe that I just showed you before we paused the video was rubbing off on his hands. It was making his hands red. Kind of like eating those red pistachios that you got to crack the nuts open, all of a sudden your fingers are all red. So he was actually suffering from a case of rosy palm. Some of you will get that, some of you won't. But yeah, I used a mild cleaner, and I'm not even going to show you the pipe because it's, well, there it is. All right. But we did discover some factory fills here. Yeah, there's a pretty big factory fill there. So I'm going to let the Briar tell me what to do with this. You may get a different colored pipe back. We'll see. I got to start something on fire, man. Okay. Yeah, so Searchlight Piper, you told me to do what the Briar said. I'm not going to show you where we're going with that second pipe, you know. But I think you're really going to love it. Can you take a destroyed pipe like this? I'm talking cracked shank. Somebody just ground off the tooth chatter. I mean, ground it literally flat. It's got paper, a piece of paper inside holding the stem in. Can you take a junker pipe? It's got tape around because the shank is so badly cracked. The guy put tape around it to hold it together. Can you take a pipe like that and make it look brand new? We're going to see. I'm going to show you in the next video. Okay? Paul the Pipe Guy, over and out.